Hello, and welcome to part 5 of this tutorial series about how to make a Japanese dojo in Blender. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make procedural bamboo sticks and finally add lights. Without further ado, let's open the previous project and start from where we left. So let's start by selecting the floor object and rename it to floor. Then add a new plane object to the scene. Open a geometry node editor on the left. Create a new one. Delete the group input node. Alright, to make the bamboo sticks, let's start by adding a curve line node. Let's add a curve to points node to instance points on the curve. Add an instance on points node. Then add a cylinder node and connect it to the instance input. Change the parameters as shown and also make the curve go horizontally instead of vertically. Connect a set shade smooth node to the cylinder. Then connect a smooth by angle and set the angle to 75. Check shade smooth. As you can see, we got proper shading for the bamboo sticks. Switch the curve to points node to length and set it to 0.02 meters. This way we instance a bamboo stick every 4.02 meters. Add a random rotation node and set the max zenith value to something low. Connect it to the rotation of the instances. Now add a cube node. Also add a join geometry node and join the cube to the bamboo sticks. Make the cube look like a horizontal piece by changing the cube size, like so. Add a mesh bevel node to bevel the cube. This way we add more realism. Then add a set position node. Now let's add a combine XYZ node. Add the group input node and connect a new socket to the X of the combine node. Connect it to the end vector of the curve line. Add another combine XYZ node. Copy the size values of the cube and connect the vector. We now want to connect the X to the X component, but we first multiply it by 1.02. This way the cube will always be larger than the sticks. Add a combine XYZ node. Divide the X input by 2 and connect it to the X component. We can now control the size in the Modifiers tab on the right. Alright, let's also expose the radius and depth parameters of the cylinder to the Modifiers tab. Now add a set material node and select the wood material. This will assign the wood material to the cube. Add a set position, then add a combine XYZ node. Connect the depth input to the Z component, and then connect it to the set position's offset. Multiply the depth by 0.3. Then duplicate the nodes. This time set the multiplication to -0.3. Also duplicate the set position node and connect this vector. Join the geometry, and as you can see, we got 2 horizontal wooden pieces. Let's also set the material for the bamboo sticks. So add a set material node. Add a new material and call it bamboo. Also call the object bamboo sticks, then select the bamboo material in the set material. Switch to the shader editor so we can start making the procedural bamboo shader. Add an object coordinate node, then connect it to a noise texture node. Connect a map range to it so we can control the contrast of the map. Add a mix color node. Choose a brown color. And a yellow color. Let's now add a random object info node and multiply by 10. Add it back to the object coordinates. Duplicate the mix color node and set it to multiply. Then change the second color to gray. Let's add a noise texture and increase the scale. Then connect a map range to increase its contrast. Use it as the factor of the multiply color node. As you can see, we added some dark spots for variation. Now add another noise texture and increase the scale. We are going to use this for the bumpiness. Multiply it by a low number. Connect it to the height of a bump node and set the distance to 1. In the end, connect it to the normal of principled and connect the color. Decrease the roughness value. Let me open the reference render. As you can see, we have to place the bamboo sticks here and here. So let's move the object up. Then move it along the y-axis against the wall. Increase the depth, which is the height of the bamboo sticks. Then also increase the x value, which is the width, until it fits its spot. Duplicate it. Now, since these two are identical, we have to introduce a bit of randomness. To do so, let's go to the geometry node setup and add a group input. First, we connect the max zenith value to a new socket, then also the seed value. By changing the seed value, we change the rotation of the sticks, introducing some randomness. Duplicate the object and rotate it -90 degrees along the z-axis. Then place it against the right wall of the dojo. Increase the width. Duplicate and randomize by changing the seed. Duplicate again. Now let's do the same for the left side of the dojo. Duplicate this object and change the seed. Duplicate. Rotate 90 degrees and place it against the wall. Increase the width. Like so. As you can see in the reference, there is a vertical wooden column splitting the sticks. So let's duplicate this column here and make it smaller. Move it right there, scale it up a bit on the y-axis. Then apply the scale with Ctrl A. Duplicate it to the left. Let me move them slightly down. Now duplicate it and move to the right side of the dojo, right there. Duplicate it and move here. Alright, now for the top part. Let's duplicate these bamboo sticks and move them up. Decrease the radius as we want to make them slightly smaller. Also decrease the max zenith value so that the rotation of the sticks covers the whole area and we are not left with empty spots. Let's also decrease the depth. Let me change the radius again. Alright, now in the geometry node editor, let's add a switch node and switch to material. Select the bamboo material for the first slot and the paper material for the second slot. Add a group input and connect a new socket to the switch input. Rename it to paper. Check the paper checkbox in the modifier tab. This will switch the material of the selected object to paper instead of bamboo. As can be seen in the reference, they are two different materials. Let's keep going and duplicate the object, then randomize by changing the seed. Duplicate and rotate along the z-axis, then move against the wall. Also increase the width. Duplicate and change the seed. Repeat the process until the wall is covered. Also on the left side, rotate by 180 degrees. Alright, now following the reference, we add these vertical columns to separate the sticks. So duplicate this and move it up here. And apply the scale. Then duplicate it here and here. Now we are going to add lights. As can be seen from the reference, the lighting is coming from the upper left part. If we switch to render mode, we see everything is black. That's because currently there are no lights. By the way, let's change the world background color to black. Before adding lights, let's first select the wall object. Actually, let's first select all the bamboo sticks. Press M to move them into a new collection, which we call bamboo sticks. Now we can hide the collection. Then select the wall object and enter edit mode. Add a loop cut with Ctrl R and slide it down here. Choose face selection and select these faces. Delete them by pressing the delete key. As you can see, we now have an empty space at the top. That's fine because we want light to come through that space. Add an area light. Move it up and scale it along the y-axis. Switch to rendered mode and increase the power. Rotate it and place it nearer the wall. Keep scaling it up a bit. Position it based on your liking. Go inside the dojo and increase the power again. Then increase the area light again. Unhide the bamboo sticks. Then increase the power of the light again. Yeah, this looks better. In the Color Management tab, select the High Contrast look if you haven't already. Now, as can be seen in the reference image, the doors here are illuminated from behind. So let's add a point light and move it outside the dojo. Let's change the color to yellow, then increase the power. Increase the power even more. Now we see it. And now let's add another area light to the scene. Move it outside the dojo and rotate it. Increase the size and position it right here. Switch to rendered mode and increase the power of the light. Yes, there we go. Now select this light and slightly decrease its power. This way it looks better to me. Thank you for following me through to the end of this video. See you in the next one. Have fun.